Hoatzin, primitive chicken-sized bird of South American swamps, principally in the Amazon and Orinoco River basins. The young possess two large claws on each wing, a trait that has led some scientists to link the species with the fossil Archaeopteryx of the dinosaur era. The Hoatzin is the only bird with a digestive system that ferments vegetation as a cow does, which enables it to eat leaves and buds exclusively. Hoatzins feed on swamp plants, grinding foliage in a greatly enlarged crop, not the gizzard, as in other birds. Adults can fly clumsily for short distances, but they spend most of their time perched, digesting their leafy food. A large rubbery callus on the bird's breastbone acts as a tripod to keep it from falling over when its stomach is distended. The Hoatzin is about 65 centimeters, 25.6 inches, long but weighs less than 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds. It has a long tail, plumage streaked brown above and yellowish below, a loose head crest, and a blue face with bright red eyes. Sexes look alike, and both parents, as well as older siblings, cooperate to raise 2 to 5 young. After 4 weeks of incubation, the eggs hatch, and adults feed the chicks a leaf paste regurgitated from the crop. Adult Hoatzins hiss, hoot, and yelp at predators, such as steers and capuchin monkeys. Nests are built over water, and if danger threatens, the young, which are excellent swimmers, will plunge to safety, return to shore, and use their claws to climb back up to the nest. The Hoatzin was first described scientifically in 1776 and has been associated with several bird orders at various times since its discovery. From its external features, it has been linked previously to fowl-like birds of the order Galliformes. Although many authorities presently classify the Hoatzin with the cuckoos in the order Cuculiformes, the Hoatzin's foot structure differs from that of other members of the order. Hoatzins have feet with 3 toes forward and 1 behind, whereas cuckoos have feet with 2 toes forward and 2 behind. The Hoatzin's foot morphology combined with its unique internal features have prompted some scientists to assign the Hoatzin to its own group, order Episthocommiformes. Fossil evidence from France suggests Hoatzins may have lived over 36 million years ago, during the Eocene epoch. Hoatzins have existed in Colombia since the Miocene epoch, which began over 20 million years ago. Hoatzins are ruminators. Like cows, goats, and sheep, Hoatzins digest their food with the help of bacterial fermentation. Those ruminating mammals have specialized sacs in their gut called a rumen, whereas Hoatzins have an enlarged esophagus and crop. The Hoatzin is the only bird in the world that uses these 4 gut compartments instead of a stomach to digest food. Its diet consists almost entirely of leaves, which pass into the bird's crop, where the process of bacterial fermentation gets fired up. The 4 gut bacteria produce enzymes that help break down cellulose in the tough leaf material. Some of the more than 1,000 bacterial species found in Hoatzin crops are also found in mammalian ruminants, while other bacteria seem to be unique to these birds. Foul-smelling bacterial vapors exhaled by the Hoatzin are apparently what gave this species its nickname, stink bird. The digestion process takes a really long time, up to 45 hours, which is why these birds spend about 80% of their time lounging around. They often aren't able to fly when their crops are engorged with fermenting leaves. Even on an empty stomach, the Hoatzin isn't a strong flyer, because its sternum and flight muscles are less developed than those of other flying birds. There's only so much room in the body of a Hoatzin, and the flight muscles may have been reduced during the evolution of the species to make room for that huge crop. Hoatzins reportedly not only smell bad, their taste is also pretty unpleasant. Maybe that's why they haven't been overhunted like many birds. Hoatzins build their nests in branches that overhang bodies of water, laying 2-3 eggs per brood. Each Hoatzin chick has 2 claws on the digits of each wing for the first 3 months of its life. If a Hoatzin nest is approached by a predator, the chicks will drop from the nest into the water below plunk. These surprisingly capable swimmers paddle to safety and hide along the bank until the predator moves on. Then they use their little claws to climb back up the tree and into the nest. The presence of wing claws in Hoatzin chicks once led scientists to investigate the possibility of a link between this species and the long-extinct Archaeopteryx, one of the earliest known flying animals that is related to early birds. But it turns out that numerous birds, including familiar species like chickens, ducks, and ostriches, have claws on the digits of their wings. These claws were present in the dinosaur ancestors of birds, and some modern bird lineages still have vestiges of that anatomy. So the claws of Hoatzin chicks are unusual because they aren't mere vestiges of a dinosaur ancestry. They have an important, modern-day function in the survival of young birds. The strange Hoatzin isn't as pretty as toucans, tanagers, and macaws. In fact, it wins the prize for the oddest bird in the Amazon. The Hoatzin spends its time loafing around oxbow lakes in the Amazon rainforest, nearly as large as a turkey. It sits in bushes and small trees that grow at the water's edge and grunt. It nips off leaves from the surrounding vegetation. They don't pay much attention to people. When scared, they clumsily flap their way to a nearby branch. This strange bird only occurs in the Amazon jungle and has no close relatives. Indeed, its heritage is a constant subject of debate among ornithologists. It has been placed with cuckoos, turkey-like birds. It was even considered to be some type of ancient prehistoric bird. Studies have indicated that the Hoatzin is not a living fossil. It belongs to an old lineage of birds that may have no close relatives. One recent study of Hoatzin fossils showed that it may even have its origin in Africa and could have reached South America by floating across the Atlantic Ocean on clumps of vegetation. Whatever the truth may be about its evolutionary history, all guests of the rainforest expeditions ecologists stand a great chance of seeing